Hi, friends. It is summertime, and we are Marylanders. What do Marylanders do in summertime? We go to the beach. That's where we go. Yes, Ocean City, the boardwalk. You have the sound of the pounding surf, umbrellas, reading a good book, the sound of seagulls and children playing. How could it get any better than that, right? Well, that's us Marylanders, okay? In the Old Testament, they weren't fond of the sea at all, okay? yeah, they had rocky beaches along the Mediterranean there, and they avoided it because the sea was a dangerous place in their minds. They didn't like boats. They didn't want to do anything, have anything to do about it, okay? Yeah, the sea was one of the three elements of chaos. The watery deep, darkness, and formless earth. You cannot be sustained. Life cannot be sustained in these three places. And especially the watery deep was a symbol of death and the subconscious. And it's sea monsters. They're the death monsters that swallow people up and eventually get all of us. And so they were not fond of the sea. Now, in our Job reading this week, we see that, we know Job's in a bad way. Everything goes wrong in his life. And after 37 chapters of his friends needling him, saying that he brought this on himself, and Job complaining to God and to them. Finally, God comes in and says, "Okay, we really can't even talk about stuff because I'm too big and you're too small to understand really much of anything." And so he shows them all these different things that are so incomprehensible. And one of them, he says, the sea. I'm the one that put the boundaries to it. I'm the one that knows the deep and dark mysteries of the sea. And only I, God, can control it. And I control chaos. Matter of fact, chaos is a small thing to me. And elsewhere in Job, he says, God says this, I tread the seas, I walk on the waters, I rebuke the sea and it submits. And all this is, of course, background to our gospel reading. Jesus is asleep in the boat. A storm blows up. The waves are churning. And the disciples, who were expert boatsmen, are fearing for their life. And Jesus is sleeping. Okay? They wake him up, says, "Master, don't you care that we're perishing?" And Jesus just looks at him, gets up, he rebukes the sea and the wind. Now, rebuke doesn't mean, some sort of a offhanded saying like, "Oh, be still." He stood up in the boat and he shouted to the watery deep in commanding voice. The winds die down and the sea becomes gentle. And then the disciples look at him and the sea, and they thought they were afraid before. How would you feel if you're sitting in a boat with God? That is where the text says they were mega afraid. I can see them all sort of at the back of the boat and Jesus over there. Who is this that commands the sea and the waves? It can only be God. Jesus is God. And so, we have troubles. We have storms. We all do. And Jesus says, oh, you little faith. The bigger your problems are, really, the bigger I should become to you. And often, the bigger our problems, the smaller God seems, and that's just our own human unbelief. Okay, look at Job. I mean, none of us has gone through what he did. And what God does is he encounters him. And it's the encounter himself is the answer to his questions. God can't explain to him everything because his mind's too small. All what he really needs is not answers. He just wanted to know how big and wonderful God is and how he dwarfs chaos, the things that we're scared of. So, Father Patrick has got he has all the masses this week, and I'm going to be off in Steubenville with the youth. Pray for us, and I'll miss you this weekend. But have a great Sunday. God bless you.